What about you, Hajir?
Well, yes, I did. I went to a beautiful, beautiful wedding.
I saw that on Facebook
Oh my
Live.
gosh, yes. Actually, we had a busy Saturday. My friend's daughter's birthday was on Saturday also. And I missed the church ceremony. And they said it was beautiful. I was not happy that I missed it. But I had to make everybody happy. We went to the birthday for an hour or so. Then we went home, got ready, and went to the party. And we were dancing, and people were very nice, and we just had fun.
Did you have cake?
Actually, I had to leave, unfortunately, and Malaz is mad at me now because Ramaz was invited with one of her friends to go to the lake, and she had the choice to go with us or to go with her friend, and she did go with her friend. Then they text me at 9 where we're waiting for the steak, like the dinner. We just had the salad, and they're like, oh, we're on our way to drop her. I'm like, no, I'm at the wedding still. It's like, okay, I'll keep her with me, and I'll drop her in like half an hour. So, we had to shove our food, and we didn't enjoy the rest of the wedding or the cake. The cake looks so good.
I think the cake is the best part.
I know, and Malaz wasn't happy because
So you just love food, period.
I love sweet stuff, cake and wedding cake. And her wedding was so beautiful, and she's Egyptian, Orthodox, I think. So they had the wedding, the ceremony at the church, and then they had it at the hotel after that. It was so beautiful with the music and all that.
So how do you all feel about those kind of elaborate weddings? That sounds elaborate and beautiful and everything like that. Is that something that you all would be into, or is it just something more simple?
No, I want something simple. I am not in the big wedding. Even my first wedding, my friend actually did the party. They put money because they wanted a party. But I wanted something simple. Yeah. And just close. And you can't say I'm going to invite close friends, because almost all my friends are close, and I want them to be there. So the best thing to do is just to do an elopement. For me, personally, I wanted to go, me and the girls, and to go to a destination wedding. Just the beach and get it done.
And you can't really invite a lot of people to a destination wedding.
Yeah.
Unless you pay for them yourself.
I know. But that's what I will want to do. Or in a cruise.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Something intimate and simple. And you don't waste the money, even if you have the money. I mean, but I also see people's first wedding, they want something big. And you want your family there. How can you do that? How can you get the best of both worlds? Not spending a lot of money and having your loved one by you.
Yeah,
but I know a lot of friends that they go downtown to the courthouse, and they have all their friends with them, and they go take picture at the city hall. They do it at the city hall, and then they take picture up at the building, the state building. The stairs, everything is free. And then they can all go and everybody pay for their food. Oh. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are getting really smart about saving. How about you, Azalea? Would you want
I kind of agree with you. I don't want to, if I was to get married, I wouldn't want a big wedding, because I know that will cost lots of money.
Yes.
So I would do something by the beach. Maybe on the boats, on the cruise,
yeah,
something
like that.
But just simple,
intimate and simple.
Yeah,
I think they spend a lot of money.
Family only, friends and family.
Not me.
But you have to pay.
Nope. Everybody in the world is invited to my wedding. If I get married, everybody gonna be there. Everybody.
You'll be broke, honey bun.
Whoa.
She's gonna say I said invited. I didn't say I'm gonna pay for anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
I know Maya well.
This is a free event. You can come, bring your plates, cause only a select few
bring your own beer.
So I'm gonna need you to bring your own food.
And bring you some?
No. There's gonna be a special table, and then everybody paparazzi can come. You know what I'm saying? It's a free event. Everybody is come and go as you please. Okay. Maya's wedding is open. You want to take pictures, bride and groom? Shalom. Thank you. Listen.
Oh, but I figured Kevin can cover most
where?
of the cost.
What?
Kevin can cover most of
He
the
will
cost.
pay for the
Kevin
cost.
Hart?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shout out to Kevin Hart. You know, he was the only celebrity that actually, I heard from people in Texas that he's actually getting involved with what is going on.
Definitely. And you know, I love my Kevin. He actually went live on Facebook talking about his donations and different things that he's going to do. So definitely shout out to Kevin Hart. That's why I'm friends with him.
But let's go back to your wedding. Where are you going to have it? You want to invite everybody,
Well, see-
everybody to bring their food. Is it going to be in the public park or?
No, this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to break down the wall at the back of Golden Corral. Right. We're going to break the wall down. We're going to get married like somewhere where the registers are.
Why do I see chicken legs swinging?
Chicken legs. We also going to have steak. We going to have baked potatoes. Listen, this is going to be a big event. This is going to definitely be a big event. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just joking. I haven't really thought about it. I don't think I'll ever get married, to be honest. So
Is that because you don't want or you just have doubt?
you know, the way my life is set up and conditioned, I just don't think about it because then it makes me angry. So
No, we don't want to. We didn't say think about it. We just said.
I don't have time. I don't have time. If I ever do get married, just know everybody is invited. Bring your own plates. Nobody objecting. That's all I gotta say. And there will be a dance
Hold
off.
your beef.
Yeah, but Golden Corral has plates.
There will be a dance off. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why we need to do it at a place that already got food and plates. We ain't gotta buy all that. That's what I'm saying. Come on, you guys. You gotta think. See, when I think about weddings, I think about I'm not spending.
Here, let me give you a good suggestion. Because what you're saying sounds like what everybody's doing now. You invite everybody to go with you to, you know, those steps at the. Have you been to downtown? Like
No.
the state building? No. Justin, you have to take her.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right
it's
there,
nice.
Just
Second
like,
Street.
it's right there.
Yeah, it's like right there. You can go by the fountain in the back or the front. There's a large amount of space.
Stairs. There's a lot
Huge
of
stairs.
Tons.
You can have everybody you want.
Well, listen.
We rally there.
I want like what I want to do is we gonna have like pictures. We gonna take our group photos, and then we all gonna go get down Buffalo Wild Wings. Like we just gonna buy out a whole building and just eat and laugh. I don't have time for these. You know, I hear people say, "Oh my gosh, I just want married in a church or on the beach." I'm like, first of all, I don't like sand on me. First of all, for two,
There is no sand on me.
I ain't got time to be, you know, chasing out the baby Asher. He trying to go in the waves. I ain't got time.
That's where your maid of honor come and
There is no maid
Play.
of honor. There is none.
Azalea and me.
No, not Azalea.
Sorry,
I will be your maid of honor.
Maid of dishonor.
Okay,
No.
I will be the maid of dishonor too.
No. Azalea is gonna be holding my dress, okay? Cause I ain't got time for no sand getting on it. I ain't got time. Cause I'm gonna have. See, I've already designed my
Why
wedding
can't
dress.
Baby Asher and Larkin do it?
Hold my dress.
Yes.
I ain't got time. Asher gonna start eating it. We ain't got time for this.
All right.
Anyways,
let's move on.
I hope everybody had a terrific weekend and an awesome week. I know some places in the world, they are not doing so good, and we're going to get into that. We're actually going to be talking about the natural disasters that are happening out in Houston, Texas. And we're going to give you guys some call information if you need to get a hold of somebody, rescue phone numbers, different things like that. Also, Hygeria is going to give you some health tips because you guys want to be careful and be safe out there. You don't just want to, you know, fall into anything. So before we get to the news events of the day, I want to give out the information that if you would like to be a part of the TSO Live Talk Show, send a... That's how you know it's live radio, because I can never get a sentence perfectly out. If you would like to be a part of the TSO Live Talk Show, send us a message at tsolivetalkshow@gmail.com. Also, our phone lines are open, 717-910-4462. Also, don't forget to like, share, and comment on our Facebook Live page. We'll make sure that we have everything that we talked about, from our news links to our news videos to our health tips that Hygeria is going to present to us today. We're going to definitely make sure that we have those on the TSO Live talk show page. Oh, and before we get into the news events of the day, I do want to congratulate Hygeia once again. She was featured in the West Texas Tribune, Abilene, Texas newspaper. So if you have not got your copy, if you are in Abilene, please go down there and get your copy of the West Texas Tribune. If you are here in the Harrisburg area and you would like a newspaper featuring TSO's one-of-a-kind Hygeia, definitely personal message me on Facebook, or if you're friends with the TSO Live talk show page, send us a message and we'll definitely get that newspaper out to you. So with that, we'll go ahead and start with the news events of the day.
Today's news events on Teen Speak Out Live. And we're going to be covering the biggest news event there is in the second part of the show. So normally that would be the main news event, but we're going to talk about that a lot later. And just what a tragedy. But also it reminds me a little bit of Hurricane Katrina. You remember how serious that was back at the time.
Absolutely.
Let's hope the government's response is a lot better than it was during Katrina. But anyway, I don't know. Is it weird? Is it weird to ask it? Did you watch the big boxing match on Saturday?
Of course, of course.
No, not me.
Of course not.
Of course not.
No.
Okay, let's get the haters out of the room right now.
It would be me and Azalia.
You know, shout out to Jimmy Pruitt, who used to be at the Grace Point Church.
But
in Abilene,
Facebook won't let us leave us alone. Everybody's posting about this thing.
That's because you guys are haters. But he once said in one of his sermons, if somebody speaks negativity, you roll down the window and you let it out. So I'm rolling down my window right now and I'm letting both of you guys out. Go away.
Wow.
Consider us gone.
I was there in the moment, watching it. My eyes, their eyes. I was in there. Did you watch it, Justin?
I saw the highlights. I didn't see the actual fight.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe this.
What was it?
Well,
yesterday or Saturday?
To be fair,
Sunday
there
night.
was no way I was going to drop $100 on paying.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why you got to find a plug, bro. You got to find yourself some friends. What about your friends?
Couldn't you went to Buffalo Wings to watch it?
Buffalo Wings?
Yeah.
You could. I think I think most places were charging a cover.
Yeah, and they were way packed, so you would have to get there at like 6 and stay there all the way to, because the fight didn't start till like 12. So you would have been there for a long period of time, and there's only so much wings you can eat until you realize it is time for you to go. Okay, okay, you was just out your
maybe.
limit. So I did watch it.
It was a cultural phenomenon. People have been talking about this for weeks.
It was, but listen, let's just take the rabbit out of the hat. There is a hat, and we're removing the rabbit. There is no way that you were gonna take a UFC fighter, put him in a ring with a pro boxer, and expect for him to win. I'm done. That's all I have to say. I'm not gonna add any more. I mean, I don't know what I do want to throw this out there. Conor McGregor, you're great. You're awesome. You're huge. You're amazing. You know, you're a great athlete. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying there is no way that anybody could have realistically put it in their mind that he was going to win.
Okay, I don't mean to spoil it, but what excitement do you get out of seeing two people
fighting?
Well, listen, it wasn't the excitement. So, you know, if anybody has like followed this fight, it turned into not just about the fight, but it turned into kind of like a racial battle at the same time. Like, you really got to watch the videos and the interviews. But there was a lot of...
Why? This is not a sport to me.
I mean...
I am not. I know a lot of people love it, and I am not.
Well, listen, don't wait, pause. I don't watch boxing.
Couldn't even talk.
I don't watch boxing all the time. Like, I'm not a faithful boxer watcher. I'm not a UFC watcher. Like, I don't watch that. I used to watch WWE with my brother when we were little. So, like, it kind of like sticks to me where I kind of follow it, you know?
Aren't they like amateurs? They fake do stuff.
The Rock and Triple H wouldn't appreciate what you're saying right now.
Oh, yes, they fake now. Used to be a fight.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson would not appreciate what you're saying right now.
Fake.
But anyways, I did watch it, and I mean, people are going to be talking about this for years. What I told everybody at work.
I hope not.
What I told everybody at work was, listen, this was just a scandal. I mean, I'm not going to say a scandal, but this was to keep our mind focused on everything else that's happening in the world. It's a distraction. And it was, both of them made money. Conor, 100 million. Mayweather, 300 million.
300 million?
300 million.
Nobody can pay me 300 million.
I'm trying,
boxing
and I'm trying to figure out.
I need all my brain cells.
I'm trying to figure out.
I need all my brain cells.
I'm trying to figure out how much how much money I gotta spend on gas, and these people made. I mean, you could put me in a ring. I mean, for not 12 rounds, maybe 2. You know, I would make a quick 2,000. Like, which one? What you want me to do? Duck weave? Oh, fall? I'm out. You win. You know what? You ain't gotta hit me, sir. Oh.
But to get to that point, to be making 100 and people watching you, you have to get beating so many times.
Oh, wait, pause.
Have to be famous.
Psych, just kidding. Because Conor McGregor came from absolutely nothing. Yes, he was a UFC fighter. But this man, I think about 4-6 years ago, he was homeless. Like,
I'm not talking about that, but he was a fighter.
10 years. Yeah,
fighter.
He was, but come on, UFC, boxing, 2 different genres.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this lady apparently took him in like a poor lost puppy and nursed him back to health and gave him money to become some
His
kind
wife.
of fight.
Ain't it his wife, his girlfriend?
Well, I don't think that was the case at the time. I thought she just found him on the street and brought him in
but now
and nourished him and kindled his fighting spirit or whatever.
I can't deal with you, Justin.
Kindled the fighting spirit. Well, to me, I'm sorry if I'm stepping on anybody's toes. We have a lot going on in this world.
Oh, we definitely do.
To spread this violence. And I think the media, the boxing, to have this as something new show. And we as kids used to watch this because there was one channel in Sudan. So when there is something, you're just going to have to watch it. Adult, movie, whatever is playing there, if you open, you watch. So we watch this, and that after this finish, you fight with your siblings, and a lot of people got injured because kids used to take like the chairs and do the same thing. No, serious.
I mean, I
used to stand in the bed and jump on my sister. I mean, we did a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm against this.
Crazy.
Do you know how many times me and my brother practiced Rashiki? Like, come on. Like, your kids, you're going to do, I mean.
Yeah.
But listen,
if they don't see it, they're not going to do that.
I understand that, but, I mean, that's why, never mind. I just feel like if you don't want your kids or you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. But there's, the point is millions of people did tune in, and it was an event.
It was
It's just not with the kids. It's not with the kids, even grown folks. If little kids is watching it, then they're gonna go out there and practice it.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't want your kids, to watch the fight, don't let them watch it. They won't know. Go ahead, Justin.
It was a huge distraction, of course.
Definitely, it was.
There's a lot going on in the world, and that's not great that we are all focused on that. But at the same time, it was interesting, and just to talk about it in its own little bubble. And you listen to enough sports and sports talk, you realize real quick that's its own little self-important bubble. Just to talk about that for a moment, like, this is pretty remarkable. This guy who's never boxed before actually coming close to defeating
wait.
What?
I'm sorry, did you?
What? Let him finish.
Did you? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Coming close. Oh, I'm sorry, Maya. Is there something funny about that? Something you'd like to share?
No.
Okay, anyway,
let him finish.
I'll finish real quick.
Please go ahead.
So, coming close to actually winning it. Look, in points and scores, it was actually close, and it went to the 10th round. But what I wanted to mention was that Mayweather didn't train for 2 years. He was out of the sport of boxing for 2 years before this fight. He didn't even spar beforehand. He hasn't been practicing.
Why? Why would he? Drops like.
I just don't. Okay, I appreciate what you're saying, but I think in this time, We don't need to see more violence. Boxing is not gonna stop.
It's it's an industry that
just like human trafficking, just like all other ugly things in life. I am not comparing the two, but still, you put two people and you like fight each other to death. That's inhumane, and you give them the money. I don't care how much money you are going to give those people. For us to sit there and watch two people beat the crap out of each other for our own amusement.
Don't they
That's
train
sickness.
dogs to do the same thing?
It's not even.
That's why what's his name? What's his name? Michael Vicks went to jail for training the dogs to do the same thing. Why don't the boxers, whatever people that make the money, why don't they go to jail? Because humans are supposed to be more valuable than animals.
Oh, that's a lie. We're not. People go to jail. People go to jail for murdering dogs, but we don't go to jail for murder. Come on.
Yeah.
Get it together.
But anyways,
a German Shepherd is with me. Like, come on. Get it together.
but anyways, that's my minute of.
Sounds good.
Rights?
You're gonna.
It was a public spectacle. It was it was something, and I don't know. People paid $100 just to watch it, which is
And that make me
remarkable,
question
too.
what kind of people are those.
I was for the free.
Those are the people we ask them, when you see two people fighting, stop filming and help.
Oh, you got World Star. If you're familiar with that, it's
yeah.
films of people fighting. Unless there's more to it, I don't think there is.
Exactly. So why do you want to tell people to stop doing this and change them when you are enjoying boxing and doing stuff like that? I mean, it's the same thing. And if we're teaching them violence is okay, I can pay $100. This fighter, he can get the crap beat out of him, and he's gonna get $100 million or whatever. Yeah, and all this money come from sick people. I'm sorry if somebody, it's my own opinion, it's not a TSO opinion, but I think, if someone's sitting there enjoying misery and enjoying somebody else's pain and calling it a sport, I'm sorry. I don't agree.
I guess people really don't think about that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe they just don't think at all. Oh, just kidding.
With that note,
Just kidding.
since we have crazy people watching and violence is good for them, there is a breaking news. I'm not sure if you have it. North Korean just launched the missile, and it flew over Japan.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Meh.
Yep, it just came to my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
CNN. You can go and look it up in CNN. And he's just standing there, smiling, like a crazy person he is. So, all right.
And I understand.
Jong-un, don't shoot America because I said that. The missile launched by North Korea flew over Japan. Pentagon spokesperson said that. And we are still in the process of assessing this launch. They still don't know where it's going. It could go 1,180 kilometers east of the Remo Cape.
Yeah.
Estimated to have fallen in the Pacific Ocean. Like
And
right here.
Where are you reading that from?
I'm reading this from CNN Politics. And the article, it says Pentagon, North Korea launched missile that flew over Japan.
The Washington Post.
By Michelle Callahan.
Yeah, I guess they have some bad aim going on.
No, because he stopped, but our guy had to say something really nasty. Because he stopped. Remember last couple days ago? He stopped and he was being nice, and Mr. Trump had the urge to tweet, "Oh, I guess what I said made him realize that it's not a joke and we can do blah, blah, blah." I mean, he had to say something.
Well, just in my opinion, we've painted them into such a corner. And not that anyone should have nukes, but we get so up in arms when anyone else even tries to get a nuclear weapon. That's not to say this guy isn't crazy, because he probably is. But then
Look
again,
at his eyebrows.
But then, like, we're assessing craziness in terms of eyebrows. I got some bones to pick with some people. But anyway, it's like we're kind of pushing them into this spot where they got to do something. And many times I think they just want negotiations. They just want to sit down and be considered a respected member of the world community. And we won't do it.
Yeah.
If we would actually
treat them like crap.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do, unfortunately. If we'd actually do it, and then they would do whatever they do, fine. Like, that's on them. But as we keep poking and prodding and backing people into corners and setting people against each other, how can we be surprised when this stuff happens?
True.
And I understand why it freaks people out, because they have the capacity to miniaturize nuclear weapons, and they can fire them.
They already did one
now.
You know, they have a miniature one.
The miniaturization, yeah. They can do it. They have that capability. So I get why people are taking it seriously, which they certainly should. I just think that what's led to it has mostly been on us.
Yep. On Mr. Trump mainly. Dumb Trump.
Well, with
anyways.
That was did you have another news event, Justin? That you
I was just going to talk about, if we have time, Sheriff Joe.
Okay.
Arizona
Yes, please do.
Being pardoned.
Yes.
Where Donald decides to pardon him, and he was still going through the process of his court. He was going under for contempt of court because he refused to change the conditions of his tent prisons, which reached 140 plus degrees in the summer, and he touted that. He was proud of that fact. He said it's like this, like, prison isn't supposed to be some kind of joyride, some kind of luxury vacation. Yeah, but it's also not to be some kind of torture. He actually was proud to call them concentration camps. And and there's
Hitler.
Undeniable historical significance to saying that.
And if you need more information, you can go to static.currentaffairs.org. I did post that on my wall also, and maybe we can post it.
Definitely.
And it basically has all the information about why he is dangerous. And he was doing over 2 decades of intimidation and abuse of power. And when you go down and read some of the things, he actually had one of the women give birth in shackles. Yeah. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, that's one of many things that you can look through that article, and it will give you just a general idea why he is a dangerous man and he should not be free.
The Trumpster was saying that he was treated so unfairly and that he didn't receive the justice he deserved. And admittedly, maybe this process was a little bit partisan, but if he got what he deserved,
he should be dead.
Yeah, and I'm not always out for that kind of retributive justice, although I know people who are.
Death sentence all the way.
Yeah.
For those kind of animals, nope, no mercy.
You know what they say about eyes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, making the whole world blind.
Yeah, but you know what? If the world is like Joe and other people, let it be blind.
Huh. No, I'm not saying that's a ridiculous point.
Yeah, I'm not talking about retaliation. If we had a fight, I'm gonna kill you and then your family gonna come and kill me. No, I'm talking about justice. Put him through the justice and the process, and he deserved for what he did. He deserved. Seriously, at this span, you know.
That's much like the people in Flint who poisoned the water and refused to make any changes and then lied about it when it came up. The fact that they're pretty much avoiding prosecution now altogether.
Yeah, and you know he had one of the highest deaths in his jails through his terms in the whole country, basically. People just die right and left. And if someone has mental disease, they will put them in solitary confinement, and that will make you even more crazy. And the percentage of the suicide that was attempted in his time, it's unbelievable. So, yeah.
Wow. So, if we have anything else to say, I was going to go to our music break.
Oh, definitely. So that was it for our news events of the day. We're going to make sure that we put those articles on our TSO Live talk show page after the show. Also, for our topic that we're going to be talking, we are going to be talking about the that's how you know it's live. the natural disaster that is happening in Houston, Texas. So if you're watching right now, and you know anybody in Houston or you're from Houston, you would like to call in and be a part of our topic today, please call in 717-910-4462. Shout out to everybody who liked, shared, and commented the TSO Live Talk Show live talk show feed. We appreciate you. We're at 10 views. We're trying to get it at 10,000 views, maybe. So don't forget to like, share, comment, slide this into all your DMs. We're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about what's happening in Houston, Texas.
This is a selection from the Harrisburg Music Festival that took place at Reservoir Park on August 12th.
Shout out to Star City.
And
the Young Legends.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. We buy new clothes to impose that we are wealthier than we are. And from afar you may believe in it. A woman feeling insecure about their hair, so they put weave in it. I see the self-hatred in the world and just breathe it in. I'm ready for a change in our minds. It shouldn't feel strange to show the true beauty of mankind. We should embrace it. Don't ever feel so complacent that when you see your face in the mirror, you want to replace it. You see the points I'm making, not connect the dots. You claim you picture perfect, but it's just a Photoshop. Editing and flashy things are what you think it's all about. We need to find another route to stay happy. I recognize my hair is coarse, it's not nappy. So many loopholes in the government, I call it flappy. And my conception is higher than a bird. My perception can't be described through words. Deception is all I heard my whole life. In this movie, Natural was who I see playing a role as my wife. Yeah, playing a role as my wife. Yeah, playing a role as my wife. Mrs. Natural, you stand for much more than any other statue. So they throw their hate at you, hoping one day they'll connect. Artificial flavors can never get the same respect. They break their necks trying to get like you. They want to see the world the way you and I do. It surprised you to see the natural look is deprived through the youth. Maybe one day they'll embrace the truth. I never let my environment confine me. I never let a pair of sneakers define me. I never met someone that's real besides me. My goal is to make people want to rewind me and realize no topic is behind me. It's in plain sight. That's why I wanna write. It's like no other poetry. At least you'll always know it's me. I used to want people to notice me. I know my record's gonna sell because the love is free. Don't let people treat you wrong then be like, no, it's me. Cause trust is worth more than lust. And you'll slowly see how fast you become artificial. Letting people who judge rearrange and change you. Now you lost in the system. So next time you see someone, just gift them with the hook of this song. With the hook of this song. Just sing along. This is natural. You stand for much more than any other statue. So they throw their hate at you, hoping one day they'll connect. Artificial favors can never get the same respect. They break their necks trying to get like you. They want to see the world the way you and I do. It's surprising to see the natural look is deprived through the youth. Maybe one day they'll embrace the truth. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hey, started off small, made it to the top, oh yeah. Ay, since the beginning of time, I knew I would shine. I didn't think that it would be through these rhymes. Like baby, get doctor, a scholar. My whole life was focused on making a dollar. That's tragic. Looking at all this material, wish that I had it. Like if I get with Jordan, talking ball like magic. Those kind of doubts that turn me to an addict. Yeah, chasing an image that God hasn't given. I look at percentages, know that I'm willing to give all I got, plus a name you were given. Ay, yeah. First quarter, I was stuck on goal. Only focus was school and honor roll. At the same time, I saw people who were in school but didn't have a goal. I wanted more on my architect, started studying and lost respect. Cause I started small, I wanna go bigger. We still pledge a flag like a code from Hill Figure. You figure that if I stand for allegiance, that can take away the pain from the speakers off TV. When you see a man like me, what do you see? The opposite of a man's how you perceive me. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. I learned my history, all of the factual slave is a mystery. If I can teach it, then that be my victory. Never smoking, cause my name is not Hickory. Just what you get from me. First feature was they talking to the money. Funny thing is we didn't have no money. Homie told me just keep pushing and striving, and one day we'll be on the island, so I kept on striving. First single was that Whiplash. It's a diamond record called that Digidash. Second song was that Made It on my own like a light. Yeah, I'm trying to flash. Elevation is the main thing that I'm contemplating. F for studio, you know I'm making. No this mistakes that I'm making. Hey, no hesitation. I put the time and the effort to make every line in here clever. I put on a lever that say that you can if you will. What does that mean? That means that I spill my heart out when I reconcile what I feel. I know that a lot of you will appreciate music for music. Most people influence the sound that's confusing and not really true to this feel. Ay, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Ay, started off small, made it to the top. Oh yeah, you know I'm gon' ball. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Hop on my coupe and my roof is gon' miss it. Ay.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Had a dream of making it scream. Hey. Call that whiplash. Tryna sell up on that record real fast. Call that whiplash. Know the motivation and the money, know I need the cash. Call that whiplash. Got big bands all over my dash. Call that whiplash. Had a dream of making it scream. Call that whiplash. Tryna sell up on that record real fast. Call that whiplash. Know the motivation and the money, know I need the cash. Call that whiplash. Got big bands all over my dash. Call that whiplash. I remember looking at my favorite rappers like, dang, I want that feeling. Yeah, you know I started from the bottom. Now I'm trying to break straight through the ceiling. What a feeling when you know your flows immaculate, and when you leave the city, man, they want you right back again. Coming from the 717, you see a lot. Pulling up to the 711, you see the cops. But I was never in the streets though, cause I was way too busy killing beats though. Now people wanna roll up, cause they see I'm about to blow up. But I just tell them stand and lame, my flow is the same. And this is never a game, and after hearing me spit, I bet you never did the same. Nope, I bet you never did the same. With all the CS2 on my body, you know I had to spit the flame. I drink a soda like a champagne, and I wear a ring pop like a picking ring. Hey, should I change the flow up, or should I just keep going? Tryna sell a couple records before it starts snowing. I ain't shining yet, but you know I'm in the stage of glowing. Yeah, I want that yacht, so you know I gotta keep rolling till my pockets overflowing. Man, the grind is never slowing. Yeah, hey, I said the grind is never slowing. I'm reaching for my goals like Mr. Fantastic. You might think I'm elastic, the way I should to be out. When the car's so big, I can ship my feet out, and I will never have to eat out. See a tour what it's all about. Since I'm young and I had you to ballin' out. And I'm still running like a Girl Scout, but I never go door to door, cause I'm too busy playing in the war tour. Farther than any other rapper. I never sold drugs, but I've been a trapper. I'm a splurger, so I had a rap brand, Louboutin. I never waste time, I just went through mine. Tried about the sound, so I took the shine, and I stuck to the grind. Had a dream of making it scream. Call that whiplash. Tryna sell up on that record real fast. Call that whiplash. Know the motivation and the money, knowing that the cash. Call that whiplash. Got big bands all over my dash. Call that whiplash. Started out rapping for fun, now the lyrics spraying at you like some water guns. Reload the ammo, green in my pocket, I got on the camo. Collecting these junkies, they nickname me Sayo. Got on these vans, they calling me Dale. I am a killer, but no, I'm not Kano. Bandana on me, they be calling me Rambo. My cousin, he trapped at the band on the woods on my hand, so I opened it slow. I came to your city and light up the show. How did I make it? I never would know. You are my enemy, you are my foe. Never afraid of me, thought you should know. You feel the energy, I'm about to blow. Look at the signature, you cannot go. In my lane, I am divine. When I don't want, I ain't one of a kind. You cannot find someone ahead, they are always behind. I'm on the incline, the way that I spit, I deserve to be fine. Robot, they flow like I'm Optimus Prime. In my spare time, all I do is write rhymes. You can make content in the streets, homie. I be rapping and killing these beats. Why you worry about the chains and the J's on your feet? Married to the keys like Swiss beats. Come and get me, and I ain't 6 feet deep, cause my boy shooting where they hit me. You threw a couple shots, but they missed me. Hated you to diss me, now they miss me, and I hanging where they miss me. I exited, just kill the game by spitting flames and write names on his hit list. Sorta like a wish list from Christmas. When they get like me, but you can get this way. Got you grinning and Bobby get head like sway. After this recommend, what can they say? Hey, what can they say? It's Raleigh. Had a dream of making it scream. Call that whiplash. Tryna sell up on that record real fast. Call that whiplash. Know the motivation ain't the money, knowing it's the cash. Call that whiplash. Got big bands all over my dash. Call that whiplash. Had a dream of making it scream. Call that whiplash. Tryna sell up on that record real fast. Call that whiplash. Know the motivation ain't the money, knowing it's the cash. Call that whiplash. Got big bands all over my dash. Call that whiplash.
Before Harvey slams into the nation's 4th largest city, homeowners scrambled to save their homes by lifting them.
Threw all our crews at this and hope to race and get it up before it hit.
And you're going to make it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
The Sheffman's house elevated just in time.
It's just an amazing feeling.
While others are heartbroken.
We're about 10 days away from being lifted. Going to be our 3rd flood in 3 years. I'm not sure how we're going to get through this one.
We are geared up and ready to go.
The threat level is as high as it gets at the Harris County Office of Emergency Management.
But we can monitor everything, and if I do call for an evacuation, then I can monitor traffic all the way to Dallas, all the way to San Antonio, all the way to Austin.
Local, state, and federal agencies working overtime.
We literally sleep here, shower here, meals are brought in, because you know, things can change so rapidly. And
until the storm is done, you live here.
Until the storm is done.
The Bayou City is no stranger to flooding, a flat, densely populated area just above sea level. Extremely heavy rainfall overwhelms waterways and drainage systems, spilling into neighborhoods and major roadways. At the Greens Point Apartments just north of Houston, Josie Trivia frantically empties her home, hoping to avoid scenes like this from last year.
Just with the tropical storm, it gets like that, so I can only imagine what a hurricane would do.
More than 6 million people in the Houston metro area bracing for what could be the most destructive storm here in more than a decade.
Local officials are not calling for mass evacuations. They're telling everyone to shelter in place. Search and rescue teams, among others, are simply preparing for the worst.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews.
Lester, good evening. This neighborhood where rescues are happening nonstop flooded more than 10 feet in areas in mere hours. An example of the disaster and its fury.
It is a colossal rescue effort. Thousands stranded, taken by boat and helicopter.
Water's so high, the boats are going over top of the cars.
Saved using anything that floats. Their faces tell the story of anguish, anxiety, and fear.
The water was up to here. I walked out and I was just like screaming. I seen somebody, they tried to put us on air mattresses. It didn't work. They had to put the babies on air mattresses. People were carrying babies on their shoulders.
With emergency responders overwhelmed, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner is asking people to call 911 only if their life is in danger, as he defended his decision not to issue a mandatory evacuation order.
But I want to thank those thousands, in fact, millions of Houstonians who heeded the advice and did not get on the road.
The city has now opened its convention center for evacuees as rescue teams plead for the public's help.
Those of you who have boats and high water vehicles that can be used in neighborhoods to help move people out of harm's way, we need your help.
And Houstonians have responded en masse.
You know, if they need my help, I'm going to do what I can.
Back in southeast Houston, Frank Pena woke up surrounded by water.
All the beds, everything, furniture.
All gone.
All gone, everything's gone.
He moved into this apartment just 3 days ago. His neighbor upstairs took him and 3 other families in.
Are you going to stay until the water goes away?
Might. Probably not if they come get us. We need help. A whole bunch of families displaced. Has lost everything.
The Morales family lost nearly everything, including their stove and much of their food.
You can't eat your food. This bayou is usually nearly empty. Within a matter of hours, it's 30 feet overflowing into these apartments, and all these people are trapped.
While scrambling to save her mom from floodwaters in a nearby city, Samantha caught on a flooded interstate herself, climbing to safety.
My mom, she said that there's water going in there and it's 3 inches deep. Thought I could make it to the other side. But I didn't think it was that deep.
America's 4th largest city fighting to survive a still unfolding calamity.
You spent most of your life in this city. Explain what you're seeing through your eyes with that personal connection.
It's my hometown. It's hard to see, especially here, the pain and the suffering. It rains and storms here often, but never quite like this. But I'm encouraged watching Houstonians help each other come together, and I'm confident that no matter what comes next, they'll do just that. Lester?
Yeah, and I got a chance to see some of that, Jacob, a bit earlier. We'll show that later in the broadcast. Thank you for your reporting. Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the
Day 2 of the catastrophic flooding in Houston, and the picture of devastation comes into focus. Overwhelmed rescue workers are still saving the stranded. Droves of weary survivors wading toward safety, and the water level in some areas is expected to rise.
More than 70 centimeters of rain has already fallen on Houston. It continues to fall and still more is in the forecast. But that is not the only danger. Now, the dams and levees in the area are holding back so much water, they are at the point of bursting. And engineers are having to make the difficult decision of letting some of that water pass, warning people who live downstream that more flooding is to come and that they should get out.
Harvey is still a dangerous and historic storm. According to the National Weather Service, who you'll hear from shortly, rainfall amounts as much as 2 feet have occurred in the Houston metro area, and life-threatening flooding will occur over a large portion of South Central and Southeast Texas in the coming days. Rivers won't crest until later this week.
Hundreds of people have already made their way to emergency shelters by foot, bus, and dump trucks. The government says it expects to shelter a total of 30,000 people.
I have 3 feet of water in my house. 3 feet in my bed, in my hospital bed at the house, because I'm bedridden. There's water in all the beds in the house. We've lost every strip of furniture, every couch, everything.
In all, 13 million people across Texas and Louisiana are under flood warnings. This is unprecedented in American history. President Donald Trump plans to visit where Harvey made landfall Tuesday. But now Harvey is expected to make a second landfall in the coming days. Its impact expected to worsen.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the TSO Live Talk Show, brought to you by the one and only The Voice 17104. What you just listened to was some of the news broadcasts that were happening around the world, talking about what's happening in Houston, Texas. This is a natural disaster, and I'm sure everybody has heard about it. You've seen it in some form on social media, or through the media news or the radio or something like that. But this is really happening, and like the young lady who we just heard who was speaking, it's affecting everybody. The whole city of Houston is being affected. And if you think about it, this is not just going to stop once the storm is over. This is something that's going to carry on for a couple of months, as far as the water draining and the cleanup and the different illnesses that people will get from being in this water. And Hajir is definitely going to talk about that once we get towards it. But, as far as, relief and different things like that, I would just encourage people. A lot of people did not stay. A lot of people didn't stay in Houston. A lot of people fled, but there's still a lot of people who are still there, who are trying to maintain their homes and keep everything safe and different things like that. So we do have different contact information that we're going to give out. So if you're listening and you have friends who are in Houston, Texas, we have contact information that you can give them if they are stuck, if they're on a roof, if they need help, if they need rescue. Like, it's important that you look out for your neighbors. Also, taking the time to share and share different posts that you see on Facebook, that can be helpful too, because that can save somebody's life as well. So even though you're not in Houston, Texas, and you're not experiencing it, eventually it's going to ripple down to us or ripple down to other people who are in the state of Texas. Some of the different Facebook pictures we're seeing on Facebook, water prices gone up, gas prices gone up. I saw one picture, the gas was $8. It just the greed that people have in the time of need is crazy. And you really learn not just like who your friends are, but you really learn who is for you, who are the people who are for you when you're in times like this. So it's definitely important that if you are still in Houston, Texas, or anybody still there, that you're looking out for your neighbor. Also the elderly, people who are bedridden. If you are still in Houston, Texas, and you're listening to the show right now, if you know your neighbor is elderly or bedridden, they can't get up, go check on them. If you're in a safer place, bring them towards your place. It's important that you look out for the people who can't look out for themselves in this time.
Absolutely. You were talking about price gouging there for a minute. Forbes magazine published a headline that said, "This is a time for price gouging, not for price controls. This is a time in this capitalistic system where you should price gouge people because that's how you can make a maximized profit."
Wow.
And you hear stuff like that, it really shows you what people find to be important in these most trying of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's that ultimate profit. And I mean, there's no beating around the bush. That kind of statement means you value money more over life. These are situations where people's lives are in the balance.
Absolutely.
And we've seen this in war profiteering too in the past. And this is of course different, but it's that kind of dire life or death situation where people go in there and instead of attempting to hand things out at an equal basis according to need, they try to just equip people who are the most equipped to pay them back.
Yeah. Right.
And it's all just about the money. And it's a very hollow existence if that's what you're doing out there.
Right. Because, despite prices of water and gas, there are major things that these people have to worry about. Not just the flooding and the rain. Yesterday there were 5 tornado warnings. There's a lot that is going on.
It's still happening.
Yeah, and it's a lot more to come. 30,000 people have been displaced. 30,000. And we don't even know completely if that's all. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more. People are losing their homes, they're losing their vehicles, and a lot of people don't understand that, your regular car insurance is not going to cover the damages that you have with your car. It's not going to cover it at all. That's why they recommend, like, for people who live close to the beach
flooded
in flooded areas, that they get flood insurance.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, their cars are destroyed. They're out of a vehicle. You're still making payments on there. I don't know what the process is, but I read an article on CNN talking about the people who don't have flood insurance. How is it going to affect them? I mean, this is, like I said, this is something that's going to continue on for months. And after this storm, we still got a huge journey that we're going to have to take.
Yeah, true.
That's really unfortunate on the part of insurance companies as well, because they know that people who are the most in need aren't going to take a moment or don't have the resources to pay that extra for flood insurance.
Yeah.
Because flood insurance isn't necessarily cheap.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty big addition to the line item on your insurance bill.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people who will pay it, and that'll be fine. And I'm sure they'll haggle over coverage as they will. But once again, those who are in the most dire situations and the most in need are going to be pressed to the limit once more in these situations. And it's easily lose your house, lose your property, lose your car, just because you were
they
either
lost
unable.
everything.
Yeah, that's...
And we're not talking about IDs, and that's a dangerous area where now what is Trump is doing with the immigration. If you don't have an ID, you could be in, like, risking your life. That's another story we're going to talk about.
Who, I'm not saying that just treating non-citizens that way is proper or correct either, but I'm saying this could be a situation where legal citizens are pushed out of their homes that don't have ID and are forced out of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this, like I said, this is widespread. It's just not from the rain, the flooding, the tornadoes, gas, food. But this is going to ripple on, and it's going to affect a lot of people. And that didn't even cross my mind of people losing IDs and social security cards and different things like that. If you're a refugee, losing that type of information, I mean,
you're done, basically. And on top of that, you're losing your bank card. I mean, that it's not like you're going to get to anywhere to use it anyway now, because a lot of people, their houses are full of water.
Right.
They don't have a place to sleep. So if you look like, you can't get to the next city. You can't, I mean, I don't see any people are trying. I'm sure there is effort, but for me, it's not enough. Because when you see people swimming, I don't know how to swim. So if I was in this situation, I'll be dead. I'll die. But like those, just to put yourself into their shoes.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine. You know, arthritis. I mean, that's other things that we're going to discuss when it comes to the health aspect of it. But just the safety.
But also, and I know that I think all three of you have said this in the past, that you either were not strong swimmers or never learned or were never taught to swim. The importance of, well, I would think it should be a faculty of the government or the community to have instructional classes and offer them free of charge.
Yeah.
So you could have that.
Yeah.
But the importance of having that particular life skill.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, these situations can happen. I'm not saying they're common, but
I mean, they can happen anywhere.
True.
I'm not saying I'm a strong swimmer,
but at least you will stay afloat.
Yeah,
I won't.
I won't either. Me and Jerry, we going.
Throw me something.
My parents tossed me in the pool when I was 9 months old. It was in a class. I'm not saying they just threw me in a pool when I was 9 months old.
Make it, Justin.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get them.
That's the best way to learn.
Just get that initial feel for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they start in like infant age now. They take them there. But anyway, not to get away from the main point. People are not. How are they sleeping? What are they eating? I mean, that's a major issue. As far as I see from the videos and the pictures, there is nowhere. There is no electricity. Like the highways are, everything is down. I mean, making food is out of the question. Getting food from where? There is a lady just posted her, she was on the morning, Good Morning America this morning, and I think she was using her phone or something. I'm not sure how that film, did you see it, Justin? Can you talk about it? But she was asking for help. She said she's been trapped on her roof. The whole house collapsed except
I saw
just
the
small
face,
part.
the FaceTime that she was doing with her friend.
She was doing, yeah.
Yeah,
and you know, without food or anything and asking for help. Nobody's gonna know. Like, there is no service. People cannot call 911. Do you understand how frightening it is? Because there is no service. 911 service there is no service.
Right. Or if there is no,
how they're gonna get there?
Even if they do have service, I know they were talking about this on CNN yesterday, that the phone lines are so congested. They're so congested that it is hard to get anybody through or get a hold of somebody. So they were recommending that if you were calling for help, you stay on the line no matter how long you're on there. Or if you get disconnected, you call back. Just hang on, because they are congested. I can only imagine hundreds of people trying to call for help. But like Hajir said, in videos, two of the news reporters that are on CNN, I believe they were in, I'm not sure where they were exactly at, somewhere in Houston, but we had it on in our store, and the news reporters were stuck. They were stuck on a bridge in Houston, and they could not get off.
I think, isn't that the same bridge collapsed after a little bit?
I think 610. I think it was Highway 610. But they were literally stuck, and they were trying to find ways to get off of that bridge so that they can go somewhere else. I mean, the water in some areas 10 feet. I mean, so you definitely want to be careful and make sure that you're watching your surroundings, and not just think, hey, well, if you can swim, I'm just going to get in the water and start swimming. Because you're also taking a risk in yourself by doing that, which Hajir is going to get into.
Yeah. And when you said hundreds, that's thousands. It's tens of thousands. And I've seen people in Pennsylvania posting for their relatives who they haven't heard from, who are in those areas.
Absolutely.
They know where they're living, so they post on social media for rescue crews to go and find them.
Right.
Because, as you had said, the internet coverage and the phone coverage in those areas has been just so completely decimated.
Right.
And we don't know the death toll, like the number as of now.
Not just now, but there's 2 for sure.
Yeah, but so we don't know, and we hope to just stay like that. But I mean, we can talk about other things that this hurricane is gonna cause. Water. We talked about the water. This is a huge amount of dirty, and it's not rainwater. Like, you can look at this up in CNN.
Right. Some of the bayous have flooded. Some of the rivers have flooded.
There is a lot of stuff. There is a small metals and glass sharpened. Like, people are gonna walk through this, swim through this. So it's gonna cause. It's gonna spread a lot of stomach. If you're hungry and you're thirsty, you're just gonna eat whatever around you. And we're going to have a lot of stomach viruses. We're going to have a lot of skin rash, because this is not a clean water. And we're going to have a lot of respiratory distress or diseases. And earlier I mentioned about arthritis. I mean, it's not covered here, but anybody that has arthritis, the moisture, the water, it makes it even harder. So even if you start walking and you already have arthritis, this is going to make it worse. It's going to swelling. You're not going to be able to continue.
Right.
And you might just collapse, fall, and die. And a lot of people has respiratory diseases already. And with this making it worse, this is a very serious matter.
And you have staph infections.
Staph infection, yeah. And a lot of videos that we were watching, there is a lot of senior homes. There is a lot of nursing homes and hospitals. There is one nursing home in specific, they had the picture on Facebook. It just made my heart stop. Like, all the, really, really old people, senior citizens. The water is up to here, and there is no help around. So, I mean, that's one thing we need to keep in mind. And all those people are having a lot of health issues.
Right.
And with this is going to increase that even worse. So, the flooding threat goes, even if the flooding threat go away and they get some help, the after effect is going to be a lot of potential health problem from the water and from what the water leaves behind. The Health and Human Services Secretary, Dr. Tom Price, declared in a public health emergency. So they did declare a public health emergency in Texas on Sunday. That means the department has put additional medical personnel from around the country and around the cities and the states on alert to be able to go and provide help. But as we see, nobody can get to that.
Right.
And and one of the things that they mention here in this article, that it is not just physical, it is mental also. Could you imagine the anxiety when I look and I see just water, nothing, and I am one person that don't know how to swim? My anxiety level is going to increase.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the other mental issues that we need to focus about. The flood water can carry diseases, as we said. In Sudan and I think India, we covered a while back that there is an outbreak of cholera and typhoid, and that because of the flood. So the flood bring cholera, typhoid, or the yellow fever. And the yellow fever is already present here. We have cases of yellow fever in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and with this issue happening, those are two of the major issues that we can face. And people need to take this really serious. So we might have an outbreak in that area.
Well, I think it's very instrumental to look back at our recent history in terms of these kind of hurricanes and disasters. And I just keep being brought back to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
And what just a profound effect it had, especially on the disadvantaged in those areas.
Absolutely.
Those who didn't have solid housing in the first place, and those who were left to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
And just the snail's pace, it seemed, that federal assistance and state assistance got to them, if it did in the first place. Many times it was sent in that direction and never ended up reaching them whatsoever. You heard about the FEMA trailers that were supposed to be temporary or even perhaps permanent housing for some of the individuals from New Orleans and the surrounding areas who lost their homes. And I think it was a year or two later, you saw this entire yard full of trailers that were never used or distributed. And you still see these people who were without homes and were waiting for some sort of recompense or relocation. And then you see the actual city of New Orleans, where people's homes weren't being remodeled and rebuilt. They were being just torn down, and you had new, like higher end shops going in, higher end apartments and high rises, just using this as an opportunity to replace the low income and low rent housing with the more upscale, more valuable real estate, both commercial and residential.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. And I think we got to watch really closely those circumstances. But also, something we saw with Katrina, we saw so many people from all around the country travel to New Orleans and the Louisiana area that was affected by the hurricane and volunteer and help out and just lend a hand. And that's something I think we're certainly going to see again, because I gotta figure that it's somewhere in I don't like using terms like the American character, but I will in this case. Our character, or just our concern for each other, for some or many people, that when you see someone in need, you're gonna go help them out. And I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of that too.
Yeah, and a lot of surrounding areas have started to go to Houston with their big trucks and their boats. I know Sweetwater, a lot of people from Sweetwater, Texas, were going out to Houston with their trucks and their boats. So you're absolutely right about other cities and different states around the world who are coming to help Houston. But I feel like there should have been more. Like there definitely should have been more. Like I don't know if you in the beginning before the storm, I feel like they kind of made it seem like it wasn't that bad, or it wasn't going to be as bad. So a lot of people didn't leave. I think if they would have, it's better than safe than sorry, would have informed a lot of people more, maybe that there wouldn't be so much disaster right now.
No,
I mean.
Well, from what I read, he was whoever was talking. He was basically saying in the article that he didn't want to tell people beforehand that it was going to be bad, because
you have to tell us exactly where you got this from.
Because he didn't think it was going to be chaotic. It was on my phone line.
Okay.
I was just looking for it.
Yeah, you need to find that before you talk about it. But one of the things that to continue on the health area, we spoke about diarrhea. There's a lot of kids. So one of the things that the parent need to watch for, not to have them play and as hard as it sounds, just try to keep them away from drinking it or getting it into their to their faces, like
absolutely.
And after that, the toys, if they will found some of their toys, don't let them play with it. Take it away, because this is one of what you call it, the causes for the contamination and the diarrhea and all of that. And the CDC highly recommended people who are staying at shelters to be extra careful. Wash their hands or use an alcohol hand sanitizer. Try to prevent the spread of any diseases. People with open wounds, which again, when we talk about nursing home and hospital, sick people. So with open wound, need take an extra care. And I'm saying this, and I know this is not feasible, because people are swimming on the water. They have no other option. So just remember that once this clear up, remember to wash, remember to clean, and just to stop it from spreading any more.
Your health is very important. Your friends and family, for the people who are stuck, if you do get a hold of your friends and family, make sure that they're okay, their health is okay, because this is a really bad situation where sickness and disease can spread like no other. And clinics are flooding, hospitals are flooding, sickness is everywhere. And like Hajir said, this is not rainwater, this is not just fresh water. This is one of the news anchors actually said sewer lines were busting, valves were busting. So there's sewage, there's a whole bunch of stuff floating in this water. So you want to make sure that you are okay, and that you're not drinking this. And I know what Hajir was talking about, there was a lady, she actually did a Facebook, I think she was FaceTiming, but somebody posted her pictures on Facebook, and she was asking for help, and she had kids on the roof with her. And there comes a time, your kids get thirsty, or you just want to just make sure that you're watching your kids. And we need to really, all of us need to prepare for the aftermath, because this is going to affect everybody. You think prices are going up in Houston? Oh well, it's coming our way. As soon as all of this subsides, it's going to come our way for sure. And this is the biggest storm that they've had since not Sandy. What was the other hurricane? 2000. I think it was in 2000 where it hit. But it was. This is considered worse than Katrina, and this isn't even over yet.
It is not over yet, and that's the problem. But the main thing that I want to focus on, the water again. The water is mixed with the sewage.
It is.
And the hospital has a biohazard. They have chemicals. When this nursing home or hospitals or pharmacy or all those places where they store their and there's the trash area. Just remember, this water is contaminated with so many material that we cannot even know, because we don't know
what it is.
You can't see it, and like we said, there is sharp material, there is metal, there is pieces that could come from people's trash. This is all what you're walking in. So just be mindful as much as you can to your surroundings, to your family, and if there is a way to climb on top of anything, just climb until help. And hopefully this country will wake up soon and they will have help. The Red Cross, where are they?
So with that, I'm going to give out some of the phone numbers and different things like that. Emergency numbers in Houston, police, firefighter, and ambulance. You can dial 911, or you can call 713-884-3131. Also, the city of Houston emergencies phone number. You can dial 311, or once again 713-837-0311. FEMA. The number for FEMA, 1-800-525-0321. Harris County, 717-755-5000. Office of Emergency and Management, 713-881-3100. That was the Office of Emergency Management, 713-881-3100. Also, Houston American Red Cross, 713-526-8300. And you can also get a hold of them on 866-526-3800. Also, flood control. The number for flood control, 713-684-4000. And the reason why I'm giving out these phone numbers is if you have family who are trapped out there and you still have access to them, whether text message, FaceTime, Wi-Fi, anything like that, definitely send out these numbers to them so that they can get they can get rescued, they can get help, or, you know, if they're stuck with their kids, they'll have a way to get food, clothing, and shelter, okay? The Houston Transit, Transportation and Emergency Services, that's 713-881-3244. I'll make sure that I post all of these phone numbers on the TSO Live Talk Show page so that everybody has access to them. So even after this show is over, if you didn't, I know I was reading them off pretty fast. If you did not catch any of these, they will be posted on the TSO Live Talk Show page. Another thing that I want to throw out there, let me make sure I got all of them: Red Cross, flood control, save, police, firefighters. Once again, if you cannot get through on phones, if your family's having a hard time getting through on the phones, please stay on the line, or, you know, call back. Never stop trying. If you are stuck, or you have family that's stuck, friends, and they're waiting for somebody to come through with a boat, you tell them to get on the phone, either 911 or 311.
And hopefully their phones are still charged. That's another issue.
That's another problem as well.
How to get help when you don't have electricity or a place to charge. This is day what? Is it day 3? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my phone doesn't hold the charge for more than a day, so our thoughts are with them. And I think you found them. It was the mayor actually who said that.
Yes.
And this article is in CNN. Can you just?
I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. It says CNN Sunday morning, as Houston residents found themselves trapped on rooftops and wading through flooded streets with children riding on their shoulders, Mayor Sylvester Turner defended his decision not to order evacuation before the city was hit by torrential rain from Hurricane Harvey. Houston, which is known for its
susceptibility,
for flooding because of its flatness, was never put under an evacuation order, voluntary or mandatory. Even as then, Hurricane Harvey was threatening southeast Texas. Let me see. He says, this is what he says: "You literally cannot put 6.5 million people on the road," Turner said in a press conference. "If you think the situation right now is bad, you give an order to evacuate, you are creating a nightmare."
Seriously, at least some people will be either out or on their way, and if you give the order on time, not this much mess would have been happening. They could go to near cities.
So I don't mean to hop up on a soapbox here or anything, and I try not to as much as possible. But we consider our country, or we want to consider our country the greatest country in the world. We want that idea that we're great, that we do things the right way. How about that greatness being the way of being prepared for these things, and having a plan down that looks after everyone, that has the preparation, that has buses ready to take them to predetermined spots, that has levees in the right areas, speaking about Katrina in New Orleans right now, but has the proper medical care prepared. As greatness goes, to me, that's what it is. It's proper planning. It's actually looking out for your people.
For your own people, and instead of going around bombing everybody and wasting the money on a fight.
Like, we have the resources to I'm not saying you can never eliminate the loss of life, but to really minimize the loss of life in these cases. And you can see that in countries in Europe where they actually do devote these resources towards people more so. They could have, I don't know, buses ready. They could have mass transit. They could have medical supplies. They probably set up the Astrodome as a relief shelter, although they've probably done that already. I don't know particularly about that. I'm just saying that we have the resources to be ready for stuff like this.
But we're using the resources for other things that are not needed.
That's what I'm saying. So, in a way, I'm not saying it's on us, but it is on us as a country.
It is.
And you know, my brother's actually out there, and he sent actually an article. Not an article, but this is actually where he works at, where they were actually fixing to shut down the Walmart. They left open because it wasn't flooded, but they were still getting rain. They actually shut it down because they're out of food. They're out of food and they're out of water. And the flooding is getting worse, and it's coming towards that area. So I mean, it's going to get bad. People are going to start looting. People are going to start stealing. Like, all these things are just going to get worse and worse and worse. And like I said, we're not affected right now because we're not in Texas, but eventually we are going to feel the effects of this.
Absolutely. And in what I would consider an unimportant way, but definitely a way that you'll feel it in your wallet or your pocketbook, at the gas pump, because Houston is a major processing center for oil and petroleum,
right,
and natural gas for that matter. And I have no doubt that this really did a number on the Port of Houston as well as their processing facilities for all this kind of stuff. And if you don't think that's going to either directly or just as a good excuse drive the prices up for all that kind of stuff,
right,
then...
And he also sent Northwood Subdivision voluntary evacuation 8/28/17. The city of Lake Jackson is calling for a voluntary evacuation of the Northwood Subdivision beginning at 6 p.m. this evening. It is expected that the Northwood Retention Dam will be breached by overflow from Bastrop Bayou sometime tonight or early tomorrow morning. So this dam is going to be breached. This is just more.
So those people need to take it serious and start evacuating.
And this is voluntary. This is a voluntary evacuation. These people. We do not expect water to get into houses, but streets will become impassable. And so you want to make sure that, you know, if you are in that area, Lake Jackson, city of Lake Jackson, take it seriously. I mean, you don't want to risk not being able to leave your homes. Make sure there's water and food. Like they said, the Walmart is closing down. Also, you know, vandalism has already started. My brother just informed me. It's already started. You know, people are looting. People are doing whatever they can for.
When you're hungry, there is no reason for you not to go out and get food. I mean, this is normal human nature. So it's not a bad thing, and people are going to come out and say, oh, those are... No, this is normal. If I'm not eating, my kids are hungry, I'm going to do whatever in my means to get them that food.
Absolutely.
Including going and robbing places.
And I wasn't saying that as a bad thing. I was just letting you know that things are serious out there. And they're going to get worse. It's going to get worse. This is supposed to go on for a week. This whole week that the storm is going to be producing. This is multiple inches of rain. This is flooding, like Hajir was talking about, sickness and disease in the water. Like, this is it's going to get bad. So we advise that everybody please take precaution. If you still have family in Houston, please try to, you know, contact them, which a lot of people are doing already. Make sure your family is safe. And if you made it safe out of Houston, make sure that you are ready for the aftermath, because it's going to be just as bad as the flooding.
Absolutely. And hearts just go out to the people who are both in this disaster, and to those whose families and friends are affected by this disaster.
Absolutely.
I can count myself, and undoubtedly you can count yourselves among that too. Which I'm not sure, but probably so. I feel like we all know people from almost everywhere
families
now.
and friends there.
So it affects all of us.
It definitely does.
Definitely our hearts go out to them.
Definitely. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in to the TSO Live Talk Show, brought to you by the one and only The Voice 17104. We'll make sure that all the information that we talked about tonight will go on the TSO Live Talk Show page. Also, or if you're friends with me, I'll make sure that I put them on my Facebook page. We just want to make sure that we're being alert and we're looking out for one another. Like I said, if you're still out there in Houston and you know somebody who's bedridden or elderly and you know that they're at home, please go out there and help them. Take the time to care for somebody else as well, but don't put yourself at risk to you losing your life as well. Also, if you would like to be a part of the TSO Live Talk Show, our email address is tsolivetalkshow@gmail.com. Also, look forward to our posters being hung around the city of Harrisburg. We definitely look forward to seeing those being hung out. So if you want to definitely be a part of the team, TSO Live Talk Show @gmail.com. We actually have one poster hanging up right now. You can kind of.
I'm not crazy. I'm not pointing at the sky. There's a poster over
you
there.
can kind of see the poster.
Yeah,
so we'll make sure that we have those all over the city. Thank you everybody for liking, sharing, and commenting on our Facebook Live feed. Shout out to Anwar, the Star City, all the youth, the music that we're playing on the show. Shout out to them. Rolos, we hope you're doing good in California. Hope everything is going great.
TSO original artists, send us more music.
Definitely. We'll love to hear more from you. Like I said, don't forget to like, share, and comment. We'll see you guys next Monday.
Let your voices be heard.